Welcome everybody to WRO 2026. My name is Duncan. I'll be taking you through everything WRO for 2026 regarding RoboMission and the Explorer category. So what's WRO? The World Robot Olympiad. And this year we have one of the largest groups of teams coming through, 1,094 teams in the entirety. It is an incredible amount. Please feel free to type into the chat if you have any questions. We'll get to that at the end through our Q&A. So to give you an idea of why your job is important and why we value you all as WRO, and especially our judges, we have 1,094 teams. That's across all the categories. But if you take a look at RoboMission by itself, we have 625 RoboMission teams alone. Just as an idea, back almost 2 years ago, 625 teams would have been every single team in South Africa, including our Explorer, RoboMission, Future Engineers, and Future Innovators. We've been quite lucky in South Africa that the WRO competition has grown immensely over the years, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So welcome aboard if you are new. Welcome to your WRO journey. If you are like me, been doing it for a very long time, welcome back, and I look forward to seeing all of you at our competitions. For our Explorer, we have 341 Explorer teams currently sitting on our list. And what that means is we need 240 judges in RoboMission alone with 40 head judges. So we need quite a few people. So everyone coming on board, thank you very much. And if you have friends and family that you've roped into it, we really do appreciate it. So taking a look at what we'll cover, we will be covering the RoboMission and the Explorer categories, going through Elementary, Junior, Senior, Explorer Lite, and Explorer Prime. But first, what are the judging requirements? So what do you need to be a judge here in South Africa? Well, the first thing, and this everybody knows if they've been with me for a while, is that you must be friendly. My number one thing when it comes to judging is you must be very friendly towards the teams, to the judges, to the coaches. Why? Because it just enhances the competition for all of the teams and everybody involved. So please come with a positive attitude and like you are ready to enjoy the day. You need an understanding of the rules, not just having read the rules. You need to actually understand what the rules are about. So with that, you can read through the rules. If you have questions, you're welcome to send them to me. But we also have a quiz that we run as well for all of our judges. You can take it as many times as you like. And the idea is to get you to think like a judge. We then have a age limit. So you must be 19 plus years in order to judge. And the reason for that is because in the senior age group, the maximum allowed age there is 19. So we don't want an 8-year-old judging a 19-year-old because that will not end well. You must also be empathetic and understand that the teams have worked very hard to get where they are and are going to run into problems. So having some kind of empathy towards the teams does help. You're able to put yourself into their shoes and understand how they're feeling while standing within the rules. So in order to register, you need to visit our website, wro.co.za, and you can then jump onto our judging system. You can access all of the rules, and there you will find a registration link where you can then register as a judge. Once you have registered, basically tomorrow you will receive your judging allocations. So we've taken a bit of time to do this while we get venues ready. Some venues have moved around and we've had a few issues with invoicing, as you may know. And now we are finally ready to start sending out all of our judging applications now that the team movements seem to have settled down. So tomorrow you should receive your official judging allocation for our provincial competitions. But with that, please note, we do need quite a few judges at some venues. So if you have some people that you know of that may like to judge, please let them come through and register so we can have them judging alongside you. You'll then need to attend any of the judges' meetings. This being an introduction meeting, we will have official judges' meetings where we'll go a little bit more into detail on each category and each age group, and there will be slightly shorter meetings. We'll also talk about the quizzes and some of the funny answers that I do. For those that don't know, when I put out the quizzes, there are trick questions, and that's just to try and get everybody to think like a judge. We then have the wonderful experience of judging at the events. And for all of the people who are our veterans, I'm sure that they will tell you that it is a very rewarding, it is an incredible experience. And as a first timer, you have nothing to worry about. We try our best to look after you, and you will enjoy it. In the national final last year, I added something to our groups, and that was a star rating. I also included this in the international final, and it's now become something that we are putting across all countries, we hope. So a lot of them are now starting to adopt it or started here in South Africa. And the reason I'm doing this is so that if you are a new judge and you are given 1 star, it doesn't mean that you're not a bad judge. It just means that you're new to the WRO. If you see someone with 5 or more stars, you can easily tell that that person is a veteran. So if you've got questions or if you're concerned about something, those are the people that will give you the best answers. They've been doing it for a long time and they're there to assist you. So the idea is that the star rating is to help our new judges pick out who are the really old judges. I'm not calling you old as an age, I'm calling you as experienced. And you guys are the ones that will be targeted by our new judges to give them the best possible experience and show them the ropes. So who can judge? We went through a little bit of this. First-time coaches, people who are new to WRO, we highly recommend you join as a judge. The reason being is while your teams are participating, you will not be able to interact with them. All you can do is sit and watch as things go well or things go downhill. And by judging, you gain quite a bit of experience. You learn how the judging process works. You learn all of the issues that teams run into. You learn how scoring works so that the next year you can come back and train in a completely different way. You also make incredible contacts and lifelong friends through the judging process. We have an incredible judging family here in South Africa. Veteran coaches are also welcome to judge. So if you've been coaching for a long time and you've never judged, you are welcome to put your name forward and join us. Coaches will never judge their own teams on their tables. They will always be placed somewhere else. Judging as a coach also has another advantage in that if your team has an issue on the day and we as WRO staff are looking for you and trying to get hold of you, if you are on the floor with us, it's a lot easier to find you because we know exactly where you are and we can address issues with your teams very quickly. And those can be things like they've forgotten the password to the computer, their computer's crashed and they need a spare part. There's a whole range of issues that teams experience, and having you close by for us to access on their behalf will help them. Any parents of WRO watching, you are welcome to judge as well. You won't get your own kids on your tables. You will have completely different ones, and you can enjoy the judging experience. We have a long history of parents coming on board and judging, even at the international level. So to our parent judges, welcome back if you are here. To the new ones having a look at WRO, we look forward to seeing you at these competitions. And in general, anybody who has an interest in WRO, robotics, technology, this is the competition for you. And this is a way you can make a difference in a child's life by coming along and judging and giving them an incredible experience. And the last thing, judges must be over the age of 19. Do you need any prior WRO or robotics experience to judge? Well, no, not really. Anybody is welcome to judge, and you get special guidance as a new person. We run through webinars, we run through trainings, we run through quizzes, and to make sure your experience is good and that you're not too stressed, we do our best to pair all of our new judges with our experienced judges. So you could be coming along as a first-time judge, and you could have paired with you one of our awesome international stars who've been judging for an incredibly long time. We have quite a few here from around the world that are excellent, excellent judges, and they are more than happy to show you the ropes. You also have our incredible head judges. We always nominate our head judges based on their experience, their demeanor, their empathy levels, their friendliness, and just their general manner in acting with both the children, the coaches, and you as judges. So our head judges are handpicked by us, and they're handpicked for those positions because they are really some of the best people to be running those shows. That means that if you are experienced and you haven't yet been chosen as a head judge, it could be coming. So please keep in mind our head judges rotate because we want to build the experience in the country so that we can have awesome competitions everywhere we go, especially with the growth that we are seeing within WRO. Our head judges include some incredible people like Nelma. We have Christo down in the Western Cape, Tony. We have incredible people. Janet has also judged as well. Myself. There are tons of us who have international experience, and our judges from around the world are always looked up towards because we are really incredible when it comes to judging. I don't know what it is about us being South African and judging, but we are adored internationally. So what criteria makes a really good judge? Well, number one, they should be friendly. You should be observant. So not only looking at your teams and what they're doing, but also at the crowd. You need to be attentive towards the teams. Try and see if there's a problem coming up before it happens and try and solve it before it gets quite bad. You should show high integrity. So if you've made a mistake, if you see someone else making a mistake, step in and assist them. And you should understand the rules. One thing to remember, and this is something that's always important to me, is that the judges are there for the teams. The teams are not there for us. So please, as a judge, we don't boss the teams around. We are there to assist them and make sure that they have an incredible competition, because these young guys and girls have been working throughout the year, trying their best to get robots running, and we as judges can be their number one supporters. So thank you to those of you who have already registered. It is great to see so many people coming on board. We have over 200 judges registered in RoboMission alone, and we still need a few more. But thank you for taking the time again out of your life to come through and judge our teams. Thank you for bringing your expertise into this competition, whether you are new or whether you've been with us for a while. And most importantly from me, thank you for coming through and sharing these long days with us, sharing any hassles and issues we may face, and helping our judging family get through it. So what are some roles that you'll be expected to do and perform on the day? Well, your number one role is you'll be looking after the teams that you have been given. So teams will be assigned to you, and your role is to look after your 6 teams on your table. Make sure they don't get lost, make sure that they know where they're going, and that they know how everything is running. You will keep order and keep things moving. We want the competitions to run as smoothly as possible because we want the kids to have an incredible time, but not only them, we also want our spectators to enjoy the show. Teams are our absolute number one priority. That means when the coach is waving at you from the side, the team takes priority. You will finish your conversation with the team first and then maybe go and talk to the coach if you need to. But remember, our teams always come first. Be kind, be mindful, be honest, and be respectful. You don't know who you're going to meet at the event, and you don't know what kind of teams you will have at the event. We have an entire array, and that's the beauty of robotics. You have children who come with disabilities. You've got children who come with all kinds of neural disorders, and they participate in this thing and even go through to nationals and the international final as well. You have children who have anxiety. There are kids who have ADHD. There is a range. So please be respectful, be mindful, and be kind to every single team, but not only them, to our judges as well. Remember, the teams are there for the competition. They're not there for you. I cannot say and stress that enough. So as a new judge coming in, remember, you are there for them. Please don't boss them around. Be friendly, smile, and talk and encourage the teams. I would love all of our judges to encourage teams and to get them to do the best that they can as a team. And the reason for that is these kids are under a huge amount of pressure at this event. Robots don't work. There are many, many issues that they have. So please encourage them as much as possible. You'll see when things are going bad. You'll see when things are going well. So please encourage them. Then jumping into the actual procedures for the day. So we'll go over some that are for both RoboMission and for Explorer, and then we will go over some that are specific to RoboMission, some specific to Explorer. So I must just apologize if you do hear noises in the background because I'm at home. And one of the awesome things about being at home is that I am with my family. And you may hear them in the background. I have a 2-year-old who's quite grumpy. She's got some teeth coming out. She hasn't had such a good day, so she's not too happy. And I have a 5-year-old who's a little bit sleepy and a little bit worried and a little bit anxious today. So if they come and you hear them, I do apologize, but I will not replace them. Love them more than anything. So taking a look at the layout. So this will be your layout at your competition. This is the layout at all of the events. We have a team workspace, and that's where the teams will be positioned. That's where they will be setting up things with their robots, and that is where they will be doing a lot of work and spending quite a bit of time. Between the team workspace and our competition tables, you have a quarantine table. And the quarantine table is a location where in RoboMission you will place your robots for the quarantine period. We try to put 2 tables onto 1 table. Not all events do it, but we try to have and save space by minimizing the amount of quarantine tables. Then there is a very important thing. There will be a queue line. Now, this may be a physical taped line on the floor. It could be some kind of velvet rope. We don't know. If your table doesn't have one, you are more than welcome to make one, maybe the edge of the table of the quarantine table, but it is where the teams will line up. This is a way that we can keep control of where the teams will be standing before they come onto our competition tables. And last, you have our wonderful competition tables. Now, these will be on the floor at all of our events, and the reason for that is they are more stable. There's less that can go wrong, and the teams can easily get to the elements and to the robots while they're moving. The bad thing for us is that we're going to be bending down quite a lot, so please get ready. It's going to be hard on your back. We then have a spectator area with a barrier that keeps us safe from the spectators. So it is a wonderful thing to have as many people as possible spectating. It is an incredible vibe when you get to these events and people are cheering for every single team in the venue. So interact, wave, say hello, but remember, teams should not be interacting with any spectators. So teams will line up behind a point. So they will line up behind the queue, and this is how you bring them to your table. They line up behind the queue line, they come onto the competition table, and they will run their robot. In order to be in the queue, the team must have their robot with them. We only allow 1 team at a time on the competition table. Please use your discretion as to how long that team should be there. The general rule is that if the robot stops moving, the team must go to the back of the line. So once the robot has stopped, give them a few seconds. They can pick up the robot and take it back to either their workstation to make some improvements or some modifications, or go back to the end of the line, ready for another practice attempt. While you are busy judging, please watch the mood of the line. If you can see that a team is taking too long and other teams are getting annoyed, please address it. Ask the teams to hurry up a little bit, maybe encourage them to speed up their robots, especially if you're an explorer, but let them know that they are holding up the line. During the robot run, the team has a maximum of 2 minutes in which their robot can run during scoring. During practice, it's not really set. However, we practice that if the robot stops moving, or when the robot stops moving in the program, the team picks it up and goes to the back of the line. So the judging experience procedure specific to Explorer, taking a look at our event schedule. First thing, for Explorer, we have two types of events. We have a Friday event and we have a Saturday event. If you're going to a Saturday event, it will run in the morning and your prize giving will be in the afternoon. The majority of our Explorer events are Friday events, and this happens from 1:30 our start time, and that is when registration opens. So that's when coaches will come to the registration table and say, yes, we are here. Importantly, we have a judges meeting. On the day you want to attend the judges meeting, because that's where you will find out maybe who your judging partner is if it's not sent out earlier, but also any surprise rules, changes for the day, maybe where lunch will be served. There's a whole range of things we discuss in those meetings. We then have the opening and the instruction phase. So this is an opportunity for us to explain to the teams how things will be working. With Explorer at the national final, we change part of the competition so that teams are actually programming and not just repeating code that they've learned over a few months. They have to problem solve and experience part of a new competition. We then have a scoring round, and this is 60 minutes long, and teams have an hour in which to practice and score. They have 4 scoring attempts, and in Explorer, they will tell you as a judge when they like to score. We then have a short break because we are working with beginners for Explorer, and it's a 15-minute break. This is a time where they can go outside, they can get a bit of a pep talk from a coach. It's not a lunch break, it's a little break for them to get a pep talk from coaches before heading back into the venue to complete their second hour of competition. Once the second hour is complete and they have their scores, teams don't have to score all 4 times. They could end up with 1 score for the day if it's good enough, or they might just have 3 or the maximum 4. Once that is done, the teams will pack up and we will prepare for the prize giving and the awards ceremony. So during this time, you will be doing the following. 1, during practice rounds, you will be judging and running with your teams, looking after them, making sure that they know what's happening, and importantly, scoring them. During this pack-up phase, you will be completing the score sheets, and you will be bringing those through to the scoring tables to be inputted into the scoring system so we can find out who won at today's competition. So part of the procedure is that you will tell, or the teams will tell you when they would like to score. So within Explorer, teams will run, and they can run really as many times as they like. And once they are ready, they will tell you, Judge Duncan, we would like to score, please. And I will say, great. Let's set your robot up. They set it up. We reset the table, and 3, 2, 1, go. The team will run their robot and we will score their attempt. Only once the robot has stopped moving. Do not score while the robot is moving. The other thing that you can do as a judge is if you see a team that has had a very good run. Let's say the team has arrived, they scored 50 points, and then 30 minutes later, they're sitting on 180 and they haven't scored yet. Please encourage the team to score. It is the most difficult thing in Explorer, is trying to get our teams to actually score points and register a score. So it's our main job as Explorer judges to encourage them to score and explain to them that if they score now, they might beat another team just by time alone. But also that they have 4 possible score runs that they can get, and we only score when the points are higher than the previous score. We'll get more into that in a little bit. When it comes to timing, we record our time on our watch, on our phone, wherever it might be, and we record the physical time of day. So here I've said that as an example, Team A scored at 2:30 and Team B scored at 26 minutes past 9. So we write it exactly like that on our score sheets so that we have a way of telling how long a team took in order to score. And that will determine whether they go through to the national final or not. So in order for a team to get points, they must have scored something higher than their previous run in order for us to record it as a judge. They have a total of 4 scoring opportunities. And if a team says that they would like their score to be recorded, we record the score, unless you can convince them it's a bad idea. So if in that instance, for example, the team has only scored 5 points more, you've seen their robot during practice scoring 50 points more, maybe don't advise them to score those extra 5 points. Let them try and get that 50 unless time is running out. If time is running out, let them score. But always record a score that is higher than a previous score. Diving into RoboMission. So in RoboMission, the scoring is different and the day is much longer than our Explorer. So the RoboMission day schedule, this comes from the majority of our competitions on running on a Saturday, one event on a Friday, and that one's the only one with a different timing. So our schedule looks something like this. We have registration from 8 to 8:30, and again, that's where the coaches will come in and register their teams and say that they are there for the day and find their seating. We have our judges meeting at 8:10, and in the judges meeting, you will receive the surprise rules as well as any special rule updates that we may have had. Teams then enter the hall at 8:30, where they will then begin setting up, and us as judges start checking the tables. There will then be an official opening where we'll say, welcome everybody, and thank you for being here. We wish teams the best of luck. And we will then have a final preparation and instructions for teams. So that can be things like make sure your robots are plugged in for charging, make sure your laptop is on, make sure you know what your password is so that we can ensure that everything runs well. We then have the surprise rule announcements. Now, this is a new rule for teams on the day. It must stay on the table wherever it is. Teams can opt to do it or not, but it has to remain on the table, and it's generally worth more points than most other objects on the game mat. So for teams in a strategy, heading for the surprise rule and scoring those points is a really good idea. We then have 3 scoring rounds. So how it works is like this. We have a practice round, a quarantine, and then a scoring round. So 3 sections per round. We have 3 total rounds with a wonderful lunch break between rounds 1 and rounds 2. We'll dive into more detail there. So during practice rounds, teams get to test their robots. They get to test them on the mat, but also keep an eye out for large robots as a judge. You will need to check if they fit within the start area, if everything's in the start area, including cables. If you see any part of the robot sticking out, suggest to the team that they test their robot size. They must test their robot size to make sure that their robot fits within the rules. If you see a robot and you think, ooh, that might be a heavy robot, you're welcome to test its weight as well. If you see teams who've misunderstood the rules, perhaps they don't understand how points are awarded for a certain element. For example, you see that they keep knocking over one element that you know should be upright, and they keep saying they'll get points for that. If that's not the case, let them know so that they can understand the rules. Remember, they don't have the experience that you do as a judge, having read them, having done the quizzes. They're only relying on the information that they've either read themselves, they've seen online, or that their coach has told them. And sometimes we can get those things wrong. So please, if you see anybody with an issue, with something where they've misunderstood, please correct them and help them out, even if it's at the table next door. Never wait for the scoring round. Try and correct it early because we want those teams to participate and enjoy the competition. Then, very importantly, robots must hit the quarantine table before the competition timer hits 0. If the team is still walking up to the competition table, to the quarantine table with their robot, and the timer shows 0, that team will not be allowed to score in that scoring run. They must place their robot in quarantine and sit and wait. So please Before the timer hits 0, when you see that there's 1 or 2 minutes left on the clock, remind your teams, guys, get your robots to quarantine, get your robots to quarantine. If you don't get them to quarantine, you won't run. We want every single robot on the quarantine table. Encourage them to be quick and to get the robots there early. During practice as well, no programming devices are allowed at the competition tables. This is more of a safety rule to make sure that devices don't get dropped. Then and it is also general rule 9.3. So if you are looking for it, it's 9.3 within the general rules. We then have quarantine. So quarantine is the time on our schedule. It is this little time over here, right after our practice round. And during quarantine, teams must be on the table before the timer hits 0. I cannot reiterate that enough. Teams have to have it on the table before it hits 0. And as you are the judge looking after your teams, make sure that they get there on time. All Wi-Fi and Bluetooth communication must be turned off during this time. Teams are not allowed to use Wi-Fi or Bluetooth communication for the competition scoring run. So it has to be loaded onto the robot, and they must just be pressing a button on the robot in order to run their device. They cannot be using any external devices to run their robot. And some robots may remain on. The rules say that they should be turned off when they come in. However, this extends the time. There is corruption that tends to happen. So as a rule in South Africa, we have our robots on, and sometimes you'll see it at the international as well. During quarantine, we check the size of the robot using our measurement cubes. We'll also check the weight if we think it is warranted. When you are checking these things, never touch a team's robot. It is my golden rule of being a judge. You should never touch any team's robot under any circumstance. The reason for that is that we've had it a few times, both in South Africa and in the international final, where a judge has touched a team's robot. You've just poked it lightly. The robot then doesn't perform in the scoring round, and then the head judge has to explain to the coach why the judge did not break the team's robot, because you will be accused of interacting and breaking something on the robot, and it is not a fun experience. So as a rule, don't touch a team's robot without their permission. Within quarantine, there's a 3-minute rule, and the 3-minute rule works like this. If your robot is too large for the quarantine box, the team has 3 minutes in order to make a physical change to the robot. They cannot download or upload a program to the robot. If they do, that robot will not run. It must have no program uploads. It can only be physical changes during this 3-minute changing time. Teams can have jigs and setup apparatus. This must be quarantined with the robot, and it also must be less than 25 centimeters long. So what if a team doesn't want to put their robot into quarantine? Well, they have to put their robot into quarantine. They cannot use their robot at their table. They cannot disrupt the other teams on the day. This goes into the ethics side of the competition. They must put it within the quarantine table to make sure, one, the robot's safe, they're not disrupting other teams, and two, they don't have extra time to program their robot while others are running. We then have randomization during quarantine. So randomization is a process where the head judges will randomize one of the game tables. They'll move the elements around that are supposed to be moved around. Each age group has designated elements which will be placed, and the head judge will randomize those as per the rules in the document. Once the head judges have drawn out the randomization, please, as a table judge, take a picture of that table so that you can set up your table in the exact same way. All tables for round 1 will look identical. All tables for round 2 will have a different randomization and look identical, and all tables for round 3 will have a different randomization and look identical. So every table must be running the same randomization for that scoring round. So when all tables are ready, we wait for the head judge to say, awesome, we are ready to go, and we can then begin our scoring round. So within scoring, what happens is we call the teams one by one to our competition table, and we give them what I call the judge's speech. During that judge's speech, you will give them a whole laydown of how things work. Don't worry, we'll get into that. You'll then be timing them. You evaluate their score and how their run did. The team must sign the score sheet, and then the robot returns back into quarantine. And then the team or the whole process will start again with a new team. So looking at the judge's speech, this is a speech that I have requested all of our judges to say before every scoring run. And the reason for that is that it gives the team a little bit of time to set up. It makes it more fun and lighthearted for them and something recognizable, but it also reminds them and yourself of important rules that need to be adhered to. So always say the speech for each team for every single round, which means all 6 of your teams will hear the speech from you 3 times. And it goes something like this. Welcome to the table. The elements have been randomized, as you can see. Please set up your robot in the start area and make sure it fits inside of that start location. We will give you a countdown, 3, 2, 1, go. When we say go, you may start your robot program and your robot may start moving. All right, are you ready? Cool. Remember, you need to touch your robot in order for us to stop the timer. If you don't touch it, we can't stop the timer. So please make sure you touch the robot so that we can see that your robot has finished. All right, when you are done, leave the robot on the table. We will then score you, and we will then tell you when you can pick up your robot and you will take it back to quarantine. All right, when you are ready, please let us know. After a little while, say, are you ready? Cool. 3, 2, 1, go. As you say go, judge starts the timer, robot starts moving. So timing. In RoboMission, teams have 2 minutes in order to run and score as many points as possible. During this time, you must start the stopwatch on the word go. So as one of the judges says go, start your stopwatch. Always watch the robot moving around the table. Keep an eye on where it's going. And the reason for that is because you will need to stop the timer the second the team touches the robot. So what are we using as a timer, by the way? You're going to use your cell phone. And the reason for that is because you know your cell phone better than anybody else. You know, hopefully, the timer on your cell phone better than anybody else. So to give the best possible time for our teams, we encourage our judges to use their own devices to give those teams a very good score. We don't want to give you some kind of funny stopwatch from Temu. That doesn't work half the time when you push the buttons. During the timing, give the teams updates. Let them know you've completed 30 seconds, 1 minute left, 30 seconds left. You've got 20 seconds. And then when it hits 10 seconds left, about to reach 2 minutes, give them a countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Teams have to stop their robot at that point. The maximum allowed time for RoboMission is 2 minutes, nothing more. Always use full seconds when we're recording, so don't round up, don't round down. If the stopwatch says 1 minute, 22 seconds, and 38 split seconds, you just put 1 minute, 22 seconds. Ignore split seconds. You may use your own device. Then follow all of the timing requirements. Depending on what the score sheet says, it might ask you to convert your time into seconds. So 1 minute would be 60 seconds. So if a team ran for 1 minute and 20 seconds, they'd be running for a total of 80 seconds. When we record the time, we record it as such. Here I am ignoring the split seconds. We have a 1 minute and 23 second run. And there we've got a 36-second run. You can see that I've included the minutes as 0. Taking a look at our scoring and evaluating the actual run. So take note of where everything was before the run began. If you noticed as the team pushed the start button that one of the elements was out of place, take note of that and let the team know that they may get a restart if you value that it's very important, but also if that element is worth points and it must stay within an area, by not placing it back in the area, you may have cost them those points. So please take note of where everything is. Take note of any of the randomized elements. Make sure your table is the same for all of your teams. And make sure, importantly, you are on the right score sheet for those teams. Each score sheet will have the team name on it and the team number. So please ensure you've matched the score sheet with the team and we're not giving another team score. Score only when the robot has stopped. Do not score while the robot is moving. And the reason for that, simply a robot can move an object into an area and then move it back out of the area. So only score once all of the robot has stopped. Score with your co-judge. Don't score alone. Score with the person next to you. Take your time in round one. Score and learn the table. Work together as a team. Importantly, don't score with the team. They can slow down the scoring process. They can actually derail the scoring process if they are quite clever. So please only score with the judge and then show the team the score at the end. Don't stand with the score sheet and say, you got points here, you got points here, you got points here. Start at the top of the score sheet and you work your way down. Check every single element on the table. If you're not sure if it's in or out, call the head judge and they will be able to assist you. If there is a score of 0, so they didn't get any points for an element, please mark that as a 0 so that we know you didn't miss that on the score sheet. The team just didn't get those points. Then we record the time on the score sheet, and if you disagree with the judge and your co-judge, it's a very good thing. It means that you are looking out for the best interests of the team. So disagreeing with the person you're judging with is a very good thing because it allows the head judge to come in and give a rule clarification. The team then signs the score sheet before it is submitted. Teams may opt to not sign the score sheet, in which case it would be something like they've disagreed with your scoring, they think they deserve more, maybe they think they deserve less, but that is something the team will have to decide. If they say no, they don't want to sign the score sheet, then the head judge is called and the head judge will make a final ruling. If the team does not like the head judge's ruling, that's fine. The head judge will sign the score sheet on their behalf and that is the score that they will receive. The head judge's decision is final. Please do not reset this table until the score sheet is signed. Because if you've reset the table and the team disagrees with the score, the head judge, when they come to check the table, has nothing to base their decision on. So please only reset tables once score sheets have been signed. It is a very important thing to do. And the table must remain as it was if the head judge is going to make a ruling. And importantly, the robots go back to quarantine. So they have to go back onto the quarantine table. Once all robots have run, the teams can then collect them again and we can then begin the next scoring round. We then have an important thing called lunch on the day. This is one of the most important things out of all the competitions. And as RoboMission judges, Explorer judges as well, for some of the competitions, you will receive lunch at the venues. So please note that no teams are allowed in the competition area during the lunch time. That's because we don't want anyone to accuse a team of cheating. So no teams are allowed in the competition area. The only people allowed in the competition area during lunch are judges. And as you can see, I have thought that it was such an important slide, I have it twice. I have it 3 times. Why do I keep having the same slide? So what to expect at an event? Well, you will wear an awesome stylish bib. Please give them back to us at the end of the competition. We like to use them for all of our competitions. There will be a lot of standing. If it is your first time, you will be very nervous. I can guarantee it. But after round 1, you've got it and you'll be able to excel. You will be quite active and busy. You will, at the end of the day, have a favorite team. Now, I encourage our judges, both here in South Africa and internationally, to have favorite teams. And a favorite team is a team not that it's the best team on the table. It's a team that has given you some kind of experience. It's a team that has been doing horribly, and all of a sudden they have an incredible attitude. They're quite happy. They're enjoying themselves. Maybe it's a team where all of them look really cute and they're all dressed up as bunnies or whatever it could be. It's your favorite team on the day. I like to receive these stories about our favorite teams because if a judge is able to tell me who their favorite team is on the table, it tells me that that judge was paying attention to all teams on that table, that you weren't wandering around and going somewhere else and not standing there and judging. It's a good way for me and our head judges to identify who has been an interest in the teams and an interest in the actual judging process. And as a last thing, you will have far more fun than you actually think you will, especially if it's your new time and you're not quite sure. You will be nervous, I can guarantee it, but it is an awesome process. There's a lot of fun that's had with your co-judges, with the teams on the table. There's laughter, there's tears. It's like one big comedy drama going on. Remember, judging is voluntary. It's all run by volunteers. Everything, unfortunately, at this moment is at our own expense as judges, including going to the international final. Judges are not paid to judge at any of our events, including the international final. So please, if you have any issues, you're not able to get to the venues, let us know so that we can put someone else in your place. And remember, judges are generally a people who have a love for WRO, they love robotics, or both. WRO is an incredible thing, and your journey is just beginning if it's your first time. Now for something brand new. So we will see who has read the RoboMission general rules lately. And in the general rules, there is a little section on mulligans. This is the first year that these have been introduced. We have been talking about them for the past 3 years at the association level as to how we can introduce them into the competition. How it works. A mulligan is basically a redo. Each team will be given one mulligan, one redo, that they can use in any of their 3 scoring rounds. They must use it immediately after a scoring run. So they can't put their robot back into quarantine and then decide that they would like to use the mulligan. They must decide on the table while they're there, and they must inform you that they are rerunning their robot. We then begin the entire scoring process again. They set up their robot in the start area, and then they run their robot. We completely ignore their previous score. So let's say Team A during round 2 scored 250 points out of 300. They decide that no, they're going to risk it. They want to get the full 300 points, so they request a mulligan. We throw away that 250 point score sheet and we begin again. They run their robot one more time and they score 100 points. We then write down and submit the 100-point score. Whatever the mulligan score is, that is the score that will be submitted. So if they've done better, if they've done worse, that's the score that is submitted. It has to be the mulligan score. They can only use it once. So only one mulligan per team for the entire event. Rounds 1, rounds 2, and rounds 3. So just by a show of thumbs up, who was aware of this rule? I'm quite interested to see if anyone actually read it and considered it, because it was quite hidden within the rules. There we go. We got one person. Good job. I think that might be Yuri. So it is a new rule. It's something we're bringing in, and the judges, you guys, will be explaining it to the teams. So it's important to understand it. This will be going out in all of the communications to the coaches and the teams as well, so that they understand the actual mulligan process. How we will track it is on the quarantine sheet. Now, the quarantine sheet is a piece of paper with the team name and their robot's name, their seating position, and it's placed on the quarantine table. It's where the teams will put their robot during quarantine. On the quarantine sheet, there will be a little box for mulligan. If the team uses their mulligan, you will go and you will put an X in that box. That way we know that that team has used a mulligan. So please track the mulligans for teams. Remember, you've got 6 teams on your table, and I can guarantee if a team asks you to run and then say they want another mulligan, you will pick that up and have to tell them, unfortunately, no. Other countries are running this in a different way. The international final hasn't yet been decided how it will run, and I'm communicating with some of the other organizers to figure out the best possible running combination for mulligans. The reason being is that by giving teams an opportunity to rerun every single scoring round, it can increase the time the competition takes. So in South Africa, we are running 1 redo for 3 rounds. So they have 1 opportunity to rerun, and they get to choose which round while they are on the competition table. Next up, our technical summary. Because we've got so many teams, because we have quite a few judges that we need to find, it is quite a lot of admin to get through. Teams don't always know how to submit technical summaries correctly. We have hand-drawn summaries, which are awesome when teams try to draw their robots. It's really cool to see. We have really incredible summaries that are submitted. We are not accepting any technical summary submissions for the provincial phase, just because of the large number of teams. However, the teams that have qualified for the national event will be requested to submit a technical summary before they get to the national final. Teams must submit their technical summary, and that's in preparation for the international final, and it will be a digital submission. And now we get to the fun and the exciting part. This is where I get to stop talking for a little bit and you can ask your questions. I see we have Dani in the chat with us. Yuri, I don't know if you're here as well, but you are welcome to unmute yourselves. I'm going to allow our participants to unmute, and you can ask questions either by unmuting yourself or by having typed into the chat. I'm going to, for ease, just start with questions that have been posed either in the Q&A or in the chat. So let's have a look at what we have. Let's have a look. I'm just reading through it. Dani, if you're there, you're welcome to tell me. Do we use stopwatches? No, you will please use your phone, and that will be done with the score sheets as well. And that's for RoboMission only. Remember, Explorer, you look at the time of day and record that as the score. Question: if there are tied scores, then the team with the earlier score will be higher on the ranking. So that's for Explorer. So Explorer teams, how we decide who has won if there's a tied score. The team that scored earlier in the day with that score will go through to the next level, because it means that they were able to program it quicker, they were able to program it faster and get the score faster than another team. I see we have a hand up. You're welcome to ask your question. If there are any questions, you're welcome to let us know at this time, and I'll do my best to answer them. Otherwise, if you do have questions and you're not sure if you want to ask them here, you are welcome to send us an email or to give us a call, and we will do our best to answer those questions. Going through, there we go. In terms of judging selection, when applying for the upcoming events, do we have to select all the events taking place or one event? You may judge at as many events as you like. So if it's your first time, most of the time this is what happens. Our first timers tend to pick one event, and that'll be the event that their teams are at. You can judge at the same venue where your teams are. So please, if you have teams and you want to judge, please jump in and judge with us. Just register. It's quick and easy, and you'll receive a judging placement quite quickly now. So with that, Normally what happens is our first timers will select one location to judge, and then they enjoy it so much that they go back and they register for the others. So please register for as many as you are comfortable with. You can register for any of them as long as you can get there. So please register. So will first-time judges be scoring separately, or will the senior judges score? Very, very good question. So you are placed with a judge who has experience. And how those judges have learnt the judging ropes is from another judge with experience. And the only way that you can learn is by doing it yourself. So what tends to happen is our experienced judges will give you an opportunity to judge, but remember you work as a team. So you will work together while filling in the score sheet. If you disagree with the judge who has experience, if you disagree with me who has experience, good, because maybe we have misinterpreted the rule. So please challenge the judges on your table who are with you if you are new, because you might just have the best interests of the team at heart. So yes, you will be judging with your co-judge on the day, and your experienced judges will be showing you the ropes and how the judging process works.
Dunks,
Will the judges...
can you
Sorry,
hear me?
Donnie? Yes.
No problem. Can you elaborate just on for Explorer, just so that the judges understand the 2 hour time limit, and obviously that the start time of the 2 hours is very important because it varies around the country.
Yes, so with Explorer, there is a different start time around the country. All the competitions, the team should have a maximum of 2 hours in which to score. If a team has 2.5 hours, it means that that team has an advantage. So we have to keep that in mind. So in order for scoring, how it works in Explorer is, let's say the competition starts at 8 o'clock. From 8 o'clock, when we say teams may begin, that is the time that's written down. When a team comes to the table, they will come and they'll say, we would like to score. You say, cool. That team puts their robot down, they run it, and when the robot stops, you look at your watch and see, oh, this team scored at 8:30. Their robot stopped moving. You write down on their score sheet 8:30 as their time. It's not a 2-minute time. It's the time of day that the robot stopped moving for their scoring round. That's the time that we take. And the reason for that is because we can then, through a calculation, work out how long it took for that team to score. And with Explorer, the team that has scored the fastest or the most points in the quickest amount of time will go through to the national finals when we get to our wild card sort of round. I hope that's the kind of explanation you were looking for, Donnie.
Yeah, thanks. Because typically some of you will understand that Explorer competitions at many venues around the country start at 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, and some competitions happen at the same time as RoboMission at some events. Just so you understand that the 2 hour time limit is there, and the start time determines obviously the length of time that is taken for you to get your score noted.
Yes, thank you, Donnie. And I must just say this as well for Explorer, because it is quite important and it's something we have to be very strict on. When the timer hits 0 at an Explorer competition, if a robot is running on the game mat, that robot, if it's a scoring round, can still be scored. We don't ask them to stop. If the team is just practicing, that robot must stop and they must go and sit down. The only time a robot is allowed to run after the timer has hit 0 is if the team requested a scoring run and their robot is running when the timer hits 0. If the team is in the line to score, they will not be given an opportunity because they'll be over the 2-hour time limit. And we don't know if the team member is sitting at their table and sending code to the robot. So please, when the timer hits 0 for Explorer, all teams must go back and sit down unless a team is scoring in the last couple of seconds, which does happen. Teams panic. Any other questions?
Doug, there's a question just about, will the judges get a T-shirt to wear under the vest? So basically, no, you wear the clothing that you wear. That is not a vest. That is actually a bib which fits over the clothing that you wear. So you can keep wearing what you are and the bib will fit over that.
And we do wash them. So please note, we do put a bit of Omo on them. We disinfect them as much as we can. That's why the green one is always so bright. It's glowing from all the radioactivity we've chucked onto it.
Doug, things have gone very quiet. But what I'd like to do, just as a spectator here and sitting in on not participating in Explorer and RoboMission, is you put a lot of time into this, and I think the explanations have been very comprehensive and clear. And we thank, I see the numbers were up to 52 judges attending, so that was very successful. So thank you very much for a very comprehensive presentation.
Thank you, Donnie, and thank you everybody for attending. I hope that if you are new and you're on the fence about judging, that this has convinced you to come through. Before we end, I see we've got Peart who would like to ask a question, but I do have a very special top secret announcement that I will make once we've gotten through all of the questions. So Peart, you are welcome to ask your question.
Sorry, sir, no, that was by accident. I was going for the react button.
No problem. For those who don't know, Peart is one of our star judges. He's been to quite a few, I think it's 2 or 3 international finals now, Peart. So welcome. You can see we have people who have a lot of experience sitting in here for this webinar because they want to hear what's going on. But here is the special announcement that I know all of you have been waiting for. We have officially created a World Robot Olympiad South Africa WhatsApp community, which will be going live in a few days' time for you to join and ask your questions, get latest information, and join everybody who's like-minded in asking and in just increasing our WRO community and our judging community. So that will go out. There'll be an official announcement. You'll see it all over the place. And please join our community, ask your questions. We are trying our best to be more interactive and to try and help our teams as much as possible. So when you see it, jump on in. It's free, and you will possibly have your questions answered not only by myself, but any of our star experience, super duper incredible judges that we have here, like Peart, like Adet, like Nelma, Ingrid from KZN, Alan. There are a whole bunch of you, Jonathan, wherever you are. There are tons of you who we want to have running and helping us run this community. Selvin, because you guys are what make this competition great, not only for ourselves as organizers, but for the kids and the other judges who are joining. So thank you very much. And I look forward to talking with everybody on the community.
Thanks. There's one more question. Just about when do the judges see the schedule for RoboMission?
So those will all be going out tomorrow. So you should be receiving all of that information tomorrow. And the reason why I'm sending it out tomorrow is because I wanted to just see if there were any judges here who were now going to go after this or maybe during this who went to register, so I can place them before I send out the bulk email to everybody. So thank you, everyone. And I hope to see you at the competitions, and I really hope that you enjoy. This has been recorded, and we will be posting the recording on our YouTube channel. So if you've missed it, if there's parts you want to re-watch, you are more than welcome to check out our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, there are already some incredible webinars that are on there with a lot of information. So if you're new and you're looking for more information, our website and our YouTube page are really incredible places to find that kind of stuff. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to seeing you all at this incredible WRO 2026 season. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you when we see you.
Bye.